Welcome. Take a breath. No, really. Pause for a second. Wherever you are, whatever is swirling in your mind right now, just breathe. Because before we dive into anything, I want you to land here. Not halfway, not thinking about what's next or what's undone or what you should be doing. Just be here. Now, let's talk about this year, your year. Not just a set of goals on paper, not just another January full of ambition that fades by March, but a year where you truly step into yourself. I want to start with a question that might feel a little uncomfortable. What is the cost of wasting your own potential? Because the truth is, we don't get an unlimited number of years. We get one life, one mind, one body. That's all. And at the end of it, when you look back, the biggest weight on your heart won't be the things you failed at. It will be the things you never fully gave yourself to. We are so good at making excuses for why we're not living fully. Now isn't the right time, or I'm not ready, or what if I fail? But let me ask you, what if you don't? What if this is the year you stop waiting for permission? What if this is the year you finally take your own life seriously? Finding your own rhythm instead of drowning in the noise. The world is noisy. Social media screams what success should look like. Trends tell you who you should be. Everyone seems to have an opinion about how life should be lived. And if you're not careful, you wake up one day and realize, I don't even know if this life I'm living is actually mine. Because here's the thing. If you're following someone else's rhythm, you're always going to feel out of sync. We get so caught up in watching what works for others that we forget to ask, but does this work for me? Your rhythm is unique to you. It's not based on what everyone else is doing. It's not based on arbitrary timelines or expectations. It's about what actually fits who you are, what energizes you, what brings you alive. And that's the key word, alive. You know the feeling when you're fully present? When you're doing something that clicks so deeply inside you that time disappears. That's the rhythm you want to build your life around. So take a second. Really think about it. Where in your life are you living in your own rhythm? And where have you started following a rhythm that isn't actually yours? Understanding yourself, not just who you are, but what's behind it. We love to focus on who we are, strengths, personality types, leadership styles, but there's something even more important. It is why you are the way you are. Because you didn't just wake up like this. Every belief, every habit, every fear, every reaction, it all comes from somewhere. It's shaped by your past, your experiences, your wounds, your victories. And the more you understand that, the more power you have to shape your future. Too many people try to set goals without understanding themselves first. But here's the thing. If you don't understand yourself, your patterns, your tendencies, you will always be working against yourself instead of with yourself. Maybe you've tried to push yourself into structures and routines that just don't fit you. Maybe you've been frustrated at yourself for not being more like them. But what if the answer isn't to change who you are, but to understand yourself so well that you can finally work with yourself instead of against yourself? because that's when things really start to shift. The words you speak to yourself and to others. There's something incredibly powerful about the way we talk, not just to others, but to ourselves, like you would talk to a good friend. We don't just describe reality with our words, we shape it. Every time you tell yourself, I'm not good enough, or I always mess this up, or nothing ever works for me, you are literally training your brain to believe it, to expect it, to repeat it. But what if you started speaking life instead? Not just positive thinking or affirmations, but actually declaring things over yourself and your future that are true about who you are. Because here's what I know. What you speak over your life, you will start to see. So what are you speaking? Are you speaking frustration, doubt, negativity? Or are you speaking possibility, growth, and faith? And here's another thing. Are you speaking life over the people around you? Because you don't just have the power to shift your own mindset. You have the power to change someone else's by the way you speak to them. You can lift them up or bring them down. Choosing what fuels you, not just what's comfortable. Not everything that feels good in the moment is actually good for you. We all know this, but we still fall into it. Mindless scrolling or distractions in life keeping us busy, or even comfort zones. The things that feel good right now, but leaves us empty in the long run. But when you look back on the times you felt the most alive, the most fulfilled, was it because you chose the easy thing? Or was it because you chose something that challenged you or even stretched you, that asked something more of you? Real fulfillment doesn't come from comfort. It comes from doing things that truly matter to you. So what fuels you? What challenges you in a way that excites you, that grows you? Because that's the path you want to follow. Building grit, because life will test you. Let's be real. This isn't about setting a nice, positive mindset and hoping life will be smooth. It won't be. You're going to hit obstacles. You're going to face days where you doubt everything. That's why mindset isn't just about motivation. It's about grit. Grit is knowing who you are, what you want, and being willing to keep going even when things get hard. Like when I was so refreshed at the beginning of this year after a retreat, a solo retreat, and coming home and hitting it hard with my kids needing to go back to school and their schedules, running a small business, keeping up with family dynamics and a good relationship with my husband. And then my son with mental health issues hit a wobble, and it really got hard. It really affects me so that it upsets me even to doubting my abilities. And that's when grit hits. It's knowing who I am. It's knowing what I'm wanting, what kind of mom I want to be, what kind of friend I want to be, what kind of wife I want to be, and what kind of legacy I'm leaving behind with my business. And then structuring goals attached to that, keeping at it every single day, regardless of the challenges, of the wobbles, of the emotional parts of life. I remind myself that if I just do this one or two things, 1 hour, half an hour, 2 hours a day, I'm not falling off the bus. I'm keeping at it and I'm going around my obstacles. And I'm being true to myself and I'm being true to this life I was set to live, regardless of my son needing more emotional support, of the schedules being a little overwhelming, of family dynamics being a little awkward. It is regardless of those. So, and another big one that is a great barrier to this grit I'm talking about is unhealed wounds. Yes. Because we don't deal with our past pain, it won't just disappear. Because our past pain shapes us. It makes us reactive, defensive, avoidant. It stops us from showing up fully in our own lives. And healing isn't easy, but the alternative? Carrying pain that was never meant to define you. So ask yourself, what is still holding on to you that need to let go of this year? What is still holding on to you that you need to let go of this year? What beliefs, what memories, what patterns need to be rewritten so they no longer hold power over you? Final thought. Stay in your own lane. There is so much power in keeping your eyes on your own path. Comparison is a trap. It makes you doubt yourself. It distracts you. It keeps you running a race that was never yours to run. So instead of looking around at what everyone else is doing, trying to measure yourself against their highlight reels, just focus on your journey, your growth, and your pace. The unforced rhythms of grace, that pace. Because at the end of the day, this is your life, and you are the only one who can live it fully. So let's make this year the year you do that. Thank you. Let me know what you think and share with somebody that might find this interesting.